It says live.
Yeah,
We live?
I think so.
Here, now we're live.
There we go.
All right, let me move this around. We are. No, no, we don't want to end. Sorry, I'm doing this live for the first time from my computer instead of a phone so that I can get Dave's pretty face in here. So hopefully somebody is seeing us, and if you can give us a thumbs up
Yeah,
or a comment that you can hear and see us, you can put on here and tell Dave that I'm prettier than him would be helpful. Let's see if we have anyone. All right. Oh, Becky. So, Becky, you think I'm prettier than Dave? I appreciate it.
I think
All right.
I think it was more thumbs up. She could hear us. But yeah,
We'll go with my ego here. All right. Most of my friends know Dave already, but Dave is my good buddy, and we run a mastermind together. And we both get a lot of questions. Besides about elite level mastermind, but about masterminds. He's a coach and within Life and Air, and has been in masterminds longer than me for sure.
yeah,
So we just wanted to talk about masterminds, go over some common questions we get, and then answer any questions you have. So we've got some stuff we kind of prepared, but if you have any questions, just put it in the comments. So that's really what we want to do is answer those questions.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And maybe we should wait a minute before we jump into some of the questions that we commonly get,
Yeah.
in order to let more people get
Well,
in.
well then, so while we're doing that, and because people are going to be watching the replay as well, how long have you been in masterminds for?
So Becky and I joined our first mastermind probably a little over 10 years ago, and man, what a game changer! Before masterminding, or before joining that mastermind, I've always known, the power of a mastermind, but I'd never belonged to one. So it was one of those things that I was a little skeptical about, to be honest.
I was really skeptical when I talk about me.
Yeah, no, it was a huge commitment, right? And not
Yeah.
only in the time, but for that one, it was the cost as well. And you wonder, is that the right decision? Is that the best one? Things like that. And so for us, and to this day, we're still in that same mastermind. So 10 years later, we're still bringing value on a regular basis out of it.
So I think the way you meant to word that is you were getting value, but you said you're bringing value, which is a super important thing.
Oh yeah,
You have to bring it and get it. It's a two-way street here. It's not just getting one or the other.
yeah. Well, and I think that goes to one of the questions that we commonly get. What is a mastermind, right?
So what's your view of masterminds and the type you've been in?
So I think when I think of masterminds, I go back to Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. That was probably the first time I was introduced to the concept of a mastermind. And for those of you who have read the book, you'll understand this. But those that haven't, his mastermind was made up of people that he never even met, or that were even dead, but that he respected in business and their. So for me, masterminding is getting around other people who have, like for business, have other, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like-minded?
Other successes
Okay.
that I can tap into, right? Experiences. That's probably a better word. They have, experience that I've not had yet, and so like-minded is also very important, right? Because like in the business world, or what we kind of lean towards is a lot of getting passive income, making our money work for us, things like that. And so it's good to be around like-minded people who also think that, because that's another thing I hear all the time, like you can't make money without without money. But the overall experience with for me in or the way I would sum up a mastermind would be, it's a group of people who come together, and I present a challenge that I'm facing, and everybody just brainstorms around it. And then when it's the next person's turn, again, we all pour into them and give them suggestions, give them, hey, here's what happened to me when I ran into that situation, and things like that. So it's just the collective genius of everybody in the room.
And I heard it worded your boardroom boardroom of advisors.
Yeah, yeah,
And
you
I
use that a
love
lot.
that term. It just resonates with me.
Yeah,
And I have found, so I'm in the same original mastermind you're in, Life and Air.
Yep.
And I joined, I think May is 8 years ago. It's been a long time, still there. And then I joined another one, and then we started ours.
Yep.
And all three of them are this style that we're talking about, where
Yeah.
the I'm in, it's, and that we run, we're boardroom advisors, you get a turn, and everyone pours in. There is another style out there that I have not been a part of. Maybe one day I'll try it, but that you don't come up with a problem. You just say, "Hey, this is my business," and you teach everyone about it. It's more of a networking style. I
Yeah.
don't think you've been in one of those.
No, but I'm familiar with them.
Yeah, I'm not talking bad about them. I just they don't resonate with me as much because I want to have my closed room of people that what it's like Vegas, what said there stays there,
Yeah.
and
Well, it's
you get
important.
feedback.
It's important because a lot of times, I know, at least in my experience, in the rooms I've been in, is we're getting vulnerable. We're being
yeah.
open with regards to specific challenges. It could be finances in the business. It could be, um, when things are great, everybody, everybody's happy to share. But what's great about the masterminds that I've been a part of is that you can bring the not so great things and figure out how to turn them around or how to make lemonade out of the
Yeah.
lemons that you're holding right then. So I think that's important.
And I think that's one of the things I've learned after years of being in them is pretty much any problem that is brought up has been dealt with by someone in the room.
Oh yeah. Or
Ken,
they know somebody.
yeah, Ken, not so softly says, "You're not special." That's
Yeah.
what he's told me before when I thought I had a special problem. He's like, "We've seen this before,"
Right.
and it's just a way of saying it's happened. The group, someone in the group, is either done it or, like you said, knows
Yeah.
someone and can give real life advice from it. So I cannot see on here who's watching lives because I have not figured out all of the features here. But if you are and you have questions, that's really what we want to do. We had some stuff to prep in between. And no, Mark, we're not on Tinder right now. Mark has been in. I've been in a mastermind with my good buddy Mark. So if you have any questions, throw them there so we can answer them. Even afterwards, we'll come back. Some other things though we talked about. So how long do people have you seen? 'Cause you've been in a little bit longer than me. Typically stay in a mastermind. Is this something like you join for 6 months or for a longer term?
I think that the people that actually get involved and take it seriously, they're in for the long haul. Like you said, you've been in Life and Air for 8 years. I've been in for 10. Even like Elite Level Mastermind, we have people who have been with us since the
Yeah.
beginning. So if they take it serious and are active in it and allowing themselves to be vulnerable, pouring into people, getting good feedback in return, I think they stay in forever. Quite honestly, the ones who are out in 6 months are the ones who don't want the accountability, who aren't going to take the necessary actions and steps in order to further their goal, whatever it is, whether it's a personal growth or, because sometimes in business it's not that the business is bad. Sometimes it's what's between here that's bad. Right? So we have to adjust adjust our mindset a little bit to acknowledge that that maybe, just maybe, there's something, I'm looking at it the wrong way.
Yeah, being open and vulnerable. I heard it worded once to create a mastermind or be in one that provides so much value that if you were down to your last dollars, you would choose to still pay for the mastermind.
Yeah.
And that was some of the things I think we talked about when we were starting. We wanted to make sure it provided the value, because just like in a rental property, because a lot of people here understand the rental property, like there's not a good business and it doesn't benefit anyone if it's turnover all the time.
Yeah.
You don't get to know each other. You have to really know each other. When I first joined, so the very first mastermind, and I remember, I think it was the first night we went out to dinner, and someone had been in a long time. Lisa said, "Adrian, you got to stick with it for at least a year,
Yeah.
because you don't really know what you're doing in the group, and you have to learn to be vulnerable and learn to do these different things and actually open up." And I kind of of like, okay. And now I fully see it.
Yeah.
It did take me just about a year
Yeah.
and to really open up and understand how it works. And I wouldn't have admitted it at the time, but I did have a big ego. It was my ego not letting me admit
Yeah.
it.
Well,
But
no,
I
that
thought I was right, and I didn't take the feedback well.
well, and to that point, when you have a mastermind of 10 people and they're all seeing your problem one direction and you
Yeah.
don't, chances are you're wrong, not them.
Yeah,
Right?
but that's a joke. When was the last time the entire room was wrong?
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, Teresita. So yeah, being longer term, there's other masterminds out there that I was like, maybe I'd take a look at it, but I'm in two and run one, and that's a hard thing of time wise. I mean, there's only so
Yeah.
much time. We just love the ones we're in. We become like family. I mean, that's
Yeah.
how we actually met, and that's why we're at your lake house right now on
Yeah.
Monday, is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the middle of the day,
Yeah.
doing Facebook Live. I think being in more than one mastermind, there's a benefit
Yeah.
because you get a different dynamic from the group. However, I think there is. I would caution people that unless they've been experienced with masterminds, I would caution them to not be in like 10.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you start getting conflicting.
Yes.
You get conflicting advice
Views and advice.
and then you start,
Well-
then you get to like, oh, I don't take any action because I don't know if this group or this group
Yeah.
or this group is right.
And for me, is you don't have time to go and take what you took,
Yeah, good
got
point.
advice, and then
Yeah.
go put it at work.
Put the
Because
action.
sometimes I'll have back-to-back weeks of the masterminds lining up, and I didn't have time to go and take the advice, go put it to work,
Right.
get feedback to go and ask for more advice.
Yeah.
Luckily, I have lots of challenges in life, and I just bring in a different challenge. But Christina's saying similar to what I had said. It took her a long time to open up, more than 1 year. Yeah, I think that's the most common thing I have seen when we are new to masterminds.
Yeah.
We don't grasp how it works.
Right.
And when I got into my second one, I already knew how it worked. So I'm like, all right, I just have to open up. As our good friend Bill would say, just get naked in the room
Yeah.
and put it all out there. And
Yeah.
if you're in the right room, it's a very safe place to where it doesn't leave
Yeah.
the room.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. When you come in without any mastermind experience, you don't know. You're like, I don't know these people. Like, I'm not going to tell them I'm in financial, disaster
Yeah.
with my
It's embarrassing,
business,
yeah.
or right. And so you kind of hold things guarded to your chest. That's probably normal, but what ends up happening is eventually, if you stick around long enough, the cards get laid on the table. So you're better off just to lay them out in advance, right?
Yeah.
However, once you're experienced with it, if I joined a new mastermind tomorrow, I would go in going, all right, boys, here it is. Put everything on the table and let them go, oh wow. But it does take a while, and to get that trust, and
Yeah.
that's the important part, is really knowing that you got a group that you can feel comfortable, confident in, and get vulnerable.
So that leads me into another topic of the size of the mastermind.
Yeah.
Because we're both in masterminds that are different sizes, and I know of some that are massively bigger.
Yeah.
So do you want to give your views on the different sizes and give some kind of numbers to the size?
Yeah, I've seen, and I've been invited actually to masterminds that have 50, 100 people in them, and then they break into like subgroups. But then you're constantly changing, and there's value there, I think, because you're getting different eyes on your business and things like that. However, for me, I like the smaller group. The one that we're in together is about 20 units, which could be 35 people
Yeah.
when you figure husbands and wives
Yeah.
or business partners, etc. And then, of course, like our elite level masterminds, even smaller, it's 10 units total. I think that there's, for me, I like the intimacy. I like to get to know you, not just your business, and get to know you 3 days, twice a year, 3 times a year, but to get to know you. So we're hanging out like this,
Yeah.
and we're constantly on the phone or pouring into each other. Hey, I'm struggling here with this business decision. Here's what I'm thinking. Tell me. Am I heading in the right direction? Like, what would you do?
Yeah.
And so there's value, I think, more so for me. What I found in that kind of a format. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm the same way, and that was one of the discussions I know we had when we started Elite Level Mastermind. Like, what size? And I mean, because of the length I've been in with about 20 people, as you said, I am super close with everyone, but it takes a little more time.
Yeah.
And to accelerate it, having a smaller group. And then for us, it was just also easier, logistics wise, is 10 people, we can then stay at Airbnbs.
Yeah.
We get into 20, that becomes pretty difficult to find. There's not many Airbnbs that have that much privacy.
Right.
Because we've tried it in the
Yeah.
bigger group, and
Well,
it's difficult.
And we like to go to new places, right? We want to go mountains. We want to go to the beach. We want to go, and so in those locations, yeah, you're going to find a 6-bedroom, but you're not going to find a 26-bedroom.
Yeah.
You're stuck to Orlando.
Yeah.
Right. You're stuck
Orlando,
to Vegas.
yeah.
And which there's nothing wrong with either of those, but if you want a little variety, then that was hard, and that was, I think, a big decision for us is that we want to be able to provide a lot of experiences while we're out.
So that's another, I'll say 2 different styles I've seen it ran is we're doing the vacation rental Airbnb style where we're together.
Yeah.
We are together the whole time. So that's how you grow really quick. The hotel style, when it's a bigger, it's still good. I mean,
it's easy to go back to your room and make a phone call or get online and check a contract or something like that, right? And so,
now for the introverts, because I say a lot of the introvert extrovert world, and the introverts, the smaller group can be good, but then you do have to kind of break away and recharge with your own energy, and then the extroverts love it.
Yeah.
They love the big, so I learned that with Erin. She needs her a time in between, like on lunch, to just recharge away. But as she gets to know everyone, she's like, no, I can hang out with Becky the whole time.
Yeah.
Or, whoever it is. But so you kind of have to understand yourself of how to work with it.
Yeah.
But if there's any other questions, don't forget to ask them in the comments, because that's really what we want to do. We want to just talk about it. We brainstormed last night with some common stuff. All right, so here's a harder one, though, is return on investment. And I want to talk about it from, like, we'll say a spreadsheet, which is where most people go in and they say, I need to make my full return on investment. This is just a rental property. But then there's the non-spreadsheet side that you get a return on.
Right.
I love this topic, but I don't know you and I have fully talked about it.
I think that people who have been in masterminds in the past, they don't come to the mastermind looking for ROI.
Mm-hmm.
It's the new person that says, oh, geez, I'm paying 10 grand or, 15, 20 grand a year to be in a mastermind. I better see twice that out, right? I put in 10, I want 20, I want, or 15. I would almost say the majority of the time in the beginning, you're not going to see that. However, I can tell you my life would not look nearly as attractive as it does to many if it wasn't for the mastermind. So how do you put a price on that?
Yeah.
My relationship with my family, my kids, my wife are so much stronger than I know they would be without it because of the accountability, right?
Yeah.
And so it's the intangibles that you can't put a number on. That I would say, like, I've got millions of dollars worth of benefit from, but that doesn't always translate to, zeros in the bank account.
Which I would argue that by doing all of that, your business actually ran better. So
Oh,
you made
100%.
money. So that's where it's difficult to put it all on a spreadsheet.
100%.
But you have found investments through mastermind groups, maybe early or that were only exclusive because of the mastermind groups that you put money in. So there is some spreadsheet stuff too.
Oh yeah. So to that point, when I joined my first mastermind, I was a very successful investor, but I was only as good as my last deal. So I was just doing deals, and if I made 100 grand, then I made 100 grand plus whatever I was making in my job, right? And didn't really raise my lifestyle to that, but I wasn't really focused on like the passive income, right? And so once I realized, like, holy cow, you mean my money can work for me and I don't have to, right? It was like my mind blew. And so by doing that, I started to change my investment philosophy a little bit, and I can tell you, I would say at least 90% of what I have today was purchased through the mastermind because I used my relationships with other people in the mastermind to fund my deal, giving them great returns. So they win, I win, we both win. And anytime you have a win-win like that, I don't think you can go wrong. And so everything, and even to this day, I mean, look at the deal that we just did in the Elite Level Mastermind with Tim.
Oh yeah.
Right? Tim found a great deal on a mobile home park, and
Yeah.
we both like recognized it
Yeah.
and jumped in with it. And thanks, to Tim Davis, I'll give him a little shout out here. We were able to become LPs with this deal. So, yeah, I mean that's where the spreadsheet numbers start to come in.
And I got my first private money ever
Yeah.
through Mastermind. And now I've lent money through them, borrowed. Like I said, in the syndication, I'm in some self-storage because of it.
Yeah.
I don't have to relearn it. And I mean, private money is a whole other topic, but when you really get to learn and know someone, when we deal with other humans, we have to know, like, and trust.
Yep.
Well, when you're in a room of pure vulnerability, you know the worst of that person.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, that's cool. She handled it the right way.
Yeah.
Now I know their integrity behind the scenes.
Right.
And now, yeah, that's someone I put my money towards.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal to me. That's why some of my money has really gone that direction.
Yeah. I would
'Cause
agree.
it's a little easier than the person you just ran at the RIA. You need more time to warm up to that person, than someone that you know all behind the scenes.
Yeah, I mean it's and to that point, I think it's always scary when you're going to lend or even borrow from a new relationship. That doesn't mean that's bad either.
Yeah.
Right. If you do your due diligence on both sides of that transaction, you're okay usually. But yeah, it does change it a little bit, and it's nice to know who you're doing business with. I want to do business with people I know, trust, and like.
Yeah. And for me, it just feels good too.
Oh yeah.
I'd much rather the check go to you because I know where it goes instead of Bank of America, where that feels like a bill when I electronically write that check. All right. Well, we don't see any other questions coming in here. Let's see what else we have. Oh, here, let's talk about so for people that truly don't know what a mastermind is, we already kind of told them that we see the boardroom with advisors style, but let's talk quickly about how it works. Like what happens in the room. We meet up, we socialize a little bit, but then we sit down. Like the work part of it is depends on the group you're in, an hour, maybe 2 hours, about the most I usually see, unless it's a big problem. Then we have flexibility that we always curve to it. But you get that time, and that's your time, your time in the seat. Like you have to do some work for that time ahead of time to say, hey, here's my top 2 to 3 challenges right now in life, business, wherever it is, and we say, hey, this is what's going good, this is what's challenging. I want to focus on this, and everyone gives feedback.
Yeah. I think it's important to come. A lot of people just come thinking, I already know kind of in the back of my head some of my challenges, but I think it's good to prepare because oftentimes somebody else that goes before you has a similar challenge and then your problem gets solved before it's your turn. And you're like, so it's good to have, as you mentioned, 2, 3 different topics that you would like to discuss. Of course, you prioritize them, and if one gets answered, great. If it's the first one, then you move on to your second. I think for those who aren't familiar with it, if you could just picture it, you get around a couple of friends, and hey, I got this problem, and whether it's personal or business, and then your friends are pouring into like, hey, don't be so hard on yourself. Think of it this way, or giving you suggestions on how I had that similar situation, and here's how I overcame it, or here's how it worked out, and just helping each other, like building each other up, while helping them solve whatever challenge they're working through right then and there. So
when sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you. You just said building each other up. For me, then what happens in my mind, it's a recharge of my confidence, of the faith in myself.
Sure.
Borrow the faith of the room. Cam's always saying.
Yep, we say that a lot.
That is for me, a lot of it is it's a lonely business because a lot of us are solopreneurs.
Yeah.
And it's I just go to get recharged by you guys believing in me sometimes more than I do.
It's funny that you say that. It makes me think of something else that's a benefit actually of the mastermind is when you go, you might be just crushing your business, or maybe you're in a low point, but then you go around, you get around all these people that are just killing it, you get motivated and excited.
I've seen you do that.
Oh my gosh,
you have a great life, but you're like,
yeah,
ooh, oh yeah, let me
yeah.
get hungry
Well,
again.
it happened twice in the last year or so. Once as the coach, I had just come out of a great retreat with some of our students, and they're just all, all just doing so well in both personal and business. And I come out of that going, man, like it fired me up. It was contagious, right? And then the other one, of course, at our elite level mastermind, again, I was kind of like, my life is good, and I was enjoying it. And then I came back, and I'm like, oh man, like it just turned my apple cart upside down, and it makes me want to, we joke around with some of the guys in the group about 10xing. I don't want to 10x, but I'll maybe 3x or something. But before that, I was like, I'm fine where I'm at.
Yeah.
Right? So it gets contagious.
Yeah, it's that balance for me because I can be the same way of sometimes I'm good or I'm focusing here, and then someone in the group, AJ used to do it to me all the time.
Yeah.
Of like, that's
Challenges.
it? That's all you want to do? That's all you? I'm like, okay, AJ, okay, I'll get bigger. So yeah, and then all right, so that's the daytime, and that's usually all day.
Oh yeah.
We set it up for us. We bring lunch in so that if there's somewhere real walkable, but we're together, we eat, and then we continue in the afternoon, and at night, pretty much all the groups I've been in, like we go out to eat, we bring food in, we're just still there. So it's a pretty all in. What's the full immersion?
Yeah.
For the few days, and yes, there's a few little business times you have to go take care of a phone call, but it's really don't come prepared to like work at night.
Oh
It's
yeah.
the more time. That's one of the mistakes I see us when we were newer at it. Like I made is like, I'll get my work stuff business. The more all in you're in, the better relationships. The more you get the meat. What is it? We solve a lot of problems after hours.
Oh yeah. Oh, and I've said this many times for those that know me or had conversations with. I've done more deals after hours. When I say deals, it's like talking with you and you're like, yeah, dude, I got X amount of dollars in my IRA. I'm like, I'll go back and put it to work tomorrow, and I'll go find a deal and we'll do something together. Or maybe it's doing a deal with you, or just so much business, and it's not just business, but those are the kind of conversations I love.
Yeah.
I love being, that's my going to Vegas, right? Kind of just getting in the room of like-minded people and just talking about, business,
Yeah.
about real estate, about and not just single-family homes. We're multi-family, storage, mobile home parks,
Big wholesale companies, property management,
Yeah.
Airbnb. Like, so people that know me know I'm very, very, very focused because I don't believe I'm good at multitasking everything. So some of it I live through other stories of other people, and some of it I'm like, ooh, yeah, I'm gonna put some money in it so
Yeah.
I can live through it, get a little excitement through it without having to reinvent the wheel. And so I love those conversations
Yeah, I do too.
with that. That's actually how Mark that put a comment earlier. That's kind of how the conversation between the two of us started for him to come and teach how to fix and flip.
Yeah.
It was the after hours drinking. Not everyone has to drink adult beverages, but all good stories, right? Started drinking. But we were joking around, and I was like, Mark, I don't understand how you do what you do. And he's like, well, I don't understand how you do what you do because we're both in the mobile home space.
Yeah.
But I like the older ones. He likes the newer ones. And like, man, it'd be cool if we just talk together. So that's how it all started, actually at a mastermind group.
Yeah.
There. But Jeremy, you're welcome for all the information. After hours are very eye-opening. People loosen up a bit. That's true. Because sometimes in the room, you have a lot of conversations. And Christina says, and you can see what other people's different situations. Exactly. And for me, a lot of times, I mean, there's only so much time on a turn. An hour or 2 hours seems like a long time.
Yeah, but it goes quick.
It goes quick.
It goes real quick.
And then and then you think on it, you're like, ooh, I want to tell Garcia this, or, what if you did this? And then those conversations happen afterwards.
Yeah.
So those are always great. And so it's those few days, whatever your length are. So ours is we come in one day, we socialize, have dinner. The next day, mastermind. Next day, mastermind. Fourth day, a little socialize in the morning, and then depart. So we're just together.
Yeah. Well, and on the 2 days of actual masterminding, in the evening, we're going to dinner, we're socializing, we go out and have fun. We've gone to like adult arcades and played darts and, things like that. So we try to go to cool places so that it's a fun time out.
We were a scooter gang one time.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
And I was a little scared of those scooters because I've seen too many friends get hurt. And you guys just like, oh no, you'll be fine. And yeah,
That was great. That was what? That was in Knoxville?
yep. Yeah,
Yeah, that was great.
It's about having fun. Christina, you said that you didn't go out in the beginning, and now you do. The very beginning, I didn't either. I think my first retreat, I don't remember at all. My second, I did a tiny bit, and we were at a complex where we all hung out. But now, like, that's all I want to do.
Yeah.
I get my little recharge time my morning, but now also we do yoga a lot of times in the morning, and so it's kind of like there's sometimes a night crowd, morning crowd. So yeah, they're fun. All right, well then I don't see any other questions. Anyone here? If you have any other questions, put in the comments. If you are interested in more questions, something you don't want private, send Dayrai a
Yeah.
private message. We're here
Absolutely.
to give information about them, about the different ones we're in. Obviously, we've already mentioned we do run elite level mastermind. It's for high level real estate investors that can live or live off of their real estate income that want to get in a room and level up. And we do have a little bit of open space for anyone that is interested in that. We want to make sure that you're a right fit for us and we're a right fit
Yeah.
for them because we don't want someone to come in that doesn't want to socialize at night. So
Right.
it's a very protective. But then if there's any general questions, maybe they're the right fit for Life and Air, or Circle of Trust, the one I'm in. Like it's
Yeah.
about helping people out. So, you have any last things that we forgot? And I don't know how long we've talked on here because it's off the screen. But Dave and I can talk forever, so
Yeah,
it's
right.
probably longer than Facebook actually likes.
It's been about a half an hour.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't have anything else to add. I think, as you pointed out, if you've got questions, just reach out to us. If you're a good fit for our mastermind, great. But if you're not, we'd be happy to help you figure out a good mastermind for you. I just think there's so much benefit
Yeah.
for somebody in the business world or someone who's looking to grow within within a mastermind. So
Well, we wouldn't be paying to still be in them with how good we are at watching our money and
our time
frugal
and
and all that and the time. Yeah, I mean that's the biggest thing now is also the time. If there wasn't value there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
cool. Well, thank you everyone for watching. If you actually stuck around and watched this whole thing of us chatting, and give us your questions and feedback. Talk to you later. Happy Monday.
See you guys.